What is up, everybody? So I'm doing something a little bit different. I am going live on multiple accounts. So currently I am live, obviously, on my YouTube channel, which is at Justin Conico, where I'm typically giving you sites on real estate negotiations, more the business end of real estate. Our main site is Prime Brokerage or Prime Real Estate Brokerage. That's for buyers, sellers, and investors. So if you're looking for real estate updates, you would go there. But this channel is where I give you a lot of the behind the scenes. I figured at the same time, I would go live on, I'm trying to go live on Instagram as well as LinkedIn. So I'm bringing a few of my communities together. I wanted to talk about something today. I'm actually going to break down why most real estate deals fail before they even start, give you a little bit more in terms of insights as to why I wrote this article and things that really do matter when it comes to negotiating and getting the most money for your properties. I just figured a live stream might be the best way to do it. So let's have some fun. I'm going to actually share the article I wrote with you guys and walk you through it. So if you're curious about these articles on LinkedIn, I write them on a weekly basis, and I'm typically trying to give you insights into strategy on the real estate side. So if you're a buyer, seller, investor, developer, builder, if you're a farmer, you're an investor, you're doing a residential resale, doesn't really matter. These articles are meant to serve you and help you get a better result. Yes, I would love to have every single one of you as a client, but regardless, I'm just trying to elevate the standard of the industry. And this article was really to break down why most real estate deals fail before they even get started and how to help you maybe get better through your real estate transactions. So fun little fact, 80% of real estate deals fail before they even reach the closing table, but it's not the economy, it's not interest rates, and it's not the competition. A lot of people like to blame other people for why real estate deals fail. This video, I'm going to break down a few key reasons why they do. Let's jump to the first one. So lack of clarity on numbers. A lot of people fail in their negotiation because they are falling forward. They don't understand the asset class that they are selling. They don't understand what they are negotiating. And they aren't leading with the end goal in mind. They're simply reacting to offers that are being given to them and not having a very concise strategy or pro forma. In this instance, I think a lot of people aren't thinking of the financing terms, what the seller bought the property for, what they intend to do with it, and they let deals collapse before they even discover the opportunity. And I'll give you an example. For investment properties, pro formas are one of the most important things that you do when you're looking at a potential investment. Let's look at a multifamily property. Now, if you have 3 out of 4 units that are rented and unrenovated, one that's vacant and unrenovated, you're going to run a cash flow analysis based on that. The numbers are probably not going to be great because they've been rented for a long time and they're unrenovated, but the seller knows that the market's hot and say London, Ontario is a great market to invest in. So they're asking a price, the buyer looks at it and says it doesn't cash flow, and they walk away and the deal dies. Or the buyer just lowballs based on how it's performing and the deal dies. A good agent on the buyer side is going to look at what is the after renovated value of that property? What is it worth to that purchaser? What are they going to have to put in to make it worth that? The buyer is going to make an offer that is probably more aligned with potential that that property has, as well as current cash flow. Worst case scenario, if you have to hold on to the property, what does that look like for you as a buyer? If you're an all cash buyer, it looks very different than if you're taking out financing. If you're taking out conventional financing versus a B lender that has a crazy high interest rate because they know you're going to flip the property, also 2 different scenarios. Or if you're a giant REIT buying a 100-unit apartment building, that's a completely different approach than an investor buying a 4-unit non-commercial property. You have to know your numbers. If I'm buying a farm, it's the exact same thing. Obviously, workable acreage matters. We've been involved in some very large farming transactions recently, and the farmers that are actually intending on working the land, they have a cap in what they're willing to pay. But what if I told you I had 77 acres off market where it is at the urban growth boundary and the city really wants that piece of land in the urban growth boundary, and you can sever a house that is gorgeous as well, and there's upside in doing that? Knowing your numbers matters more than anything else. So I digress, but make sure that you are being strategic in your approach to negotiations, which is my second point. Poor negotiation strategy. Negotiation isn't just about getting the lowest price. It's structuring a deal that works for everybody. People make a massive mistake thinking they need to always win in negotiation. The reality of it is they need to get a good result for their client. And that may be helping the buyer get a good result on the other side if you're the seller's rep. The biggest mistake, coming in with that win-lose mindset. Instead of just hammering price, try and discover what matters to all parties and seeing if there are ways of building bridges instead of burning them. And always asks, what else matters to you beyond the price? Very simple, but very, very effective. Recently, I actually structured a deal where the seller would not budge on price, but needed flexibility on closing and offering a longer close with an early release of deposits. My client secured a prime asset at terms that nobody else could match. I can go over deal after deal after deal where other components beyond the price helped us achieve a great net effective deal. Also, super fun fact, if you are looking at sold prices online and thinking that that tells the whole story, you are incorrect. Back in the day, agents' value was telling you what your neighbor's house sold for, and they guarded that information like it was nobody's business. Those agents still exist, the same ones that plug you into an MLS, you find your own house, they open the door and they get paid. Those agents aren't going to exist in 10 years. Consumers are smart, and that data is available everywhere. The best agents on the planet can tell you what the house sold for, but more importantly, they can actually give you interpretation as to why it sold for that and stuff that you might not actually know. That is their value, telling you what's not on MLS. Number 3 reason why deals fall apart is weak due diligence or relying on bad information. Bad contractors, zoning issue, hidden environmental problems can torpedo a deal more than anything else. And smart investors don't just trust, they verify. Can't tell you the amount of real estate agents that I have that I interact with across our territories. So Prime is centered in London, Ontario, the LGA, but we cover Lake Erie to Lake Huron, Port Stanley, St. Thomas. We do Grand Bend. We go up to Bayfield. We go to Kincardine, Port Albert, down to Sarnia, Kitchener, to basically Sarnia, and everything in between the two Great Lakes. What's interesting is learning how the different agents operate in the different markets is such a strategic advantage. There are some that I'll reference as alley cats that will tell me something that I know is probably not accurate or probably not true, and I will always go and verify the information. Furthermore, I'll actually tell my clients that they need to verify it directly. If my clients are looking to do something, I'll do the initial push and gather the information for them. But when they want to talk to the city about rezoning a property, doing a renovation, it's imperative that they actually verify that themselves, because I know my role: pricing, marketing, negotiation. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an environmental auditor, and I do not play one on TV. In this article, I actually highlight one of the scariest things I see in this industry is when agents try and play all of those roles because they just need the commission check and they have commission breath. Be very careful of agents that act like they're architects and everything else. Number 4, no media, no momentum. This is another reason why deals die. If you're not reaching the right buyer, your deal's not going anywhere. In this day and age, it is absolutely crucial for agents, investors, developer, builders, residential resale sellers to be using media as a competitive advantage. There's a recent stat that people with large Instagram followings sell a lot more than typical agents without those followings. It was an REM article. You can go read it yourself. Very interesting, because I've never really thought about the subscriber counts or the view counts as being the indicator of success. Phone calls for me are what are the indicators of success. I'm pretty much the only guy I know that is pushing against the influencer culture in the real estate business, as I do this video on YouTube and Instagram and LinkedIn, because I'm trying to educate consumers that some of the most influential people in real estate are not influencers, and some influencers are not influential at all. But you cannot discount using strategic media to develop momentum on your properties. So leverage short form content to keep your pipeline engaged, use video to create transparency in your deal process, and stay consistent. You would also be shocked at the amount of people that follow our socials, other agents, buyers that aren't necessarily working with us, where we are aware of that. And as we're putting out information to activity we're getting on our properties, and maybe they already have an accepted offer, that agent's in a better position to realize, oh no, we're going to sell that to somebody else, so they better drop the price on their sale and firm up on their deal. Ways that you can use media that are far, far more strategic. The final thought: be the deal closer, not the deal chaser. Know your numbers better than anybody else. Negotiate with strategy, not ego. Do relentless due diligence and build a brand that attracts deals instead of chasing them. Let me know if you enjoyed the live stream. I'm going to try and do this once a week on this channel. So we are primarily on my YouTube channel. This is where I put a lot of the behind scenes information, the vlogs, the time I spend with Ryan Serhan, Scott McGilvery, and all those other places. If you'd like to get on the newsletter from when we drop these videos, go to justinconoco.com/resources. If you'd like to also sign up for the LinkedIn articles, I'll make this super easy for you. See if I can actually share this, and here we go. I'll share this out in the link, and would love I would also love for the community members to give me topics you want covered. I'm committed to doing these on a regular basis. It is in the chat. If you click the 2 links there, I'll see you on a regular basis, and I'll catch you next time.